Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. Now, using that logic, and I believe it's very sound logic, we have seen, or at least this is the perception, we have seen great advancement in what they call the West, have we not, technologically speaking? Great advancement with their systems over the last few decades, quite rapidly, I might add, quite startlingly rapid. Now, if that pendulum swing has gone to its extreme and it has begun to move in the opposite direction, then what would that logically lead to? Well, I'll tell you what. It seems to me that many of their systems are collapsing, as we told you since last year. It is not a bad thing. It just happens that many people are filled with fear because they have been brainwashed with fear. They have been covered in fear the entirety of their lives. All of their systems, from their school systems to their government systems, governmental systems, have convinced the people that the way of existence is one of fear, that they should live afraid of even their shadows. And so, in this great time of change and opportunity, the people fear everything. They fear letting go of a system that has abused them for so long. A system that, for all intents and purposes, has betrayed the people. This is why so many people love decentralization, because of the failures of the system. However, the downfall of this system leads to the rising of the new system, where a few wise ones may come into generational wealth, and a few of that select group may choose to mold the world into a different image. But there will be a battle. The battle has already begun as they try to stuff down and stop the new 1% from rising, knowing what the new 1% will bring: a change beyond belief. No one can know what that is. No one can know what is to come, because they have operated, the world has operated on a certain way of thinking for so long that they know no other way. The world has been trapped in what is, for all intents and purposes, an oubliette, if you know what that is. A labyrinth of sorts, an inescapable oubliette of an all-encompassing system built on the backs of those who have been crushed by that very system that parasitically has fed off of them for so long. That system is dying. One would do well to prepare themselves mentally and spiritually for what is to come. Because if it continues the downward spiral, and it seems that maybe they are allowing it to happen, you need to be prepared, not filled with fear, but knowledge, so you can take the proper precautions at all times, and you can live fearlessly because you have prepared for all possibilities. The time is now to prepare in all ways that you see fit to do so. I can't tell you what to do. I can only show you the door. You have to walk through it. Let's begin here with this article on zcrypto.com. XRP at $20. Monster bull run envisioned for XRP following upshot of SEC legal brawl. Of course, it could go higher than $20. You know that. You and I both know that. It could go much higher than $20. And if XRP goes higher than $20, XLM will go high as well. Algorand will go high as well. No need to even bring Quant into this conversation. Quant will skyrocket. And XRP exploding, if it indeed does. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. But if indeed XRP does explode, it could theoretically trigger altcoin season, or what they know of as altcoin season. But I believe that that would mainly affect the bank coins. You know, the coins that everyone hates so much. Let's read this little tidbit here. United States District Court Judge Annalisa Torres turned down the SEC's motion to withhold the popular Hinman documents. Next bullet point. The Hinman documents contain a speech of the former SEC's finance divisional director saying that Ethereum is not a security. Yeah, we all know that. Next bullet point. The price of XRP spiked over 20% since the ruling, with bulls eyeing 50 cents for XRP. The Securities and Exchange Commission case with the Ripple Labs has taken several twists in the last 20 months. We all know that. Ripple Labs recorded another victory over the SEC on Thursday as United States District Court Judge Annalisa Torres ruled against the SEC publishing documents written by its former director. The SEC has been fighting against admitting those documents into evidence, with Ripple claiming that the documents are fundamental in its case. They follow no rules. I said this before. They follow no rules. Rules for me and none for thee. Some people don't want to accept that. Some people refuse to accept it. Some people have taken action to make sure that in the future, systems like this don't crush everyone. Don't bring tears to so many eyes. Don't have so many who were brilliant, who were shining ones, crushed by a system never to be known. Their names will never be known. But they were great ones. The system destroyed them. These systems. Well, the new 1% may be made up of people who may take action to remedy the problems of that system. It's coming. It has to. If it's not us, then there will be others. Things must change, truly change. This is not about shining. This is not about names, making a name for oneself. No, this is about one definitive moment to change everything. So that all those people who pushed us up over the years, who imbued us with knowledge, wisdom, strength of heart, so that what they did was not in vain. So yes, generational wealth, clap it up for that. I believe that's going to come. But that is one piece to the puzzle for many of us, not all of us. As I said before, many people will take their generational wealth, if it does indeed happen, not financial advice. They will take their generational wealth, and by all means, you ride off into that sunset and don't look back. You don't want to, trust me on this. You don't want to. Because a change is coming, and it won't be easy. Yes. You know what comes with change. You know what comes. You know what's going to happen. You know it. You know what we were born for. This is it. This is our moment. This is our spear moment on the beach, and we have one shot at this. One shot to make Xerxes bleed before everyone. One shot. Only a handful of us will be there. Only a handful of us. Only a handful of us will have the guts. But this change of power must take place. It must take place. Someone must try. You don't have to listen to me. I'm just a humble researcher. That's all. Judge Torres rejected the SEC's motion following a decision by U.S. District Judge Sarah Netburn that the documents are protected by attorney-client privilege. Let me say this. You do know that that's one of the reasons they crushed everybody and stopped the bull run of XRP. They know XRP can bring generational wealth. They know that XRP is the leader of all the bank coins. Let's just put that out there. It's at the forefront. It has the most partnerships. And they knew that the people from the bottom didn't forget. They knew the people from, it's not just about the people having that opportunity, send their children to college off of the bank coins, buying new cars, buying new houses off of the bank coins. It's not just about that, off of crypto. It's not just about that. But they knew that the people from the bottom they were becoming millionaires. They knew soon people would be becoming billionaires and get into the deep billions if things were to continue because of all of that money on the side. They knew that. They know that. That's a fact. But they knew that the people, some of us from the bottom, that we didn't forget how they stepped on everyone's neck for the last few generations, from the top to the bottom. They stepped on everyone's necks. And they knew that sooner or later, a generation would be born who were rebellious. They knew a generation would be born who would fight back, who didn't want the glory, who didn't want the shine. They knew we were coming. It's logical. Sooner or later, someone will not be bought because money is meaningless to them. Cars, meaningless to them. Copulation, even. It can be neutralized. The feeling and desire for it, anyway. They knew an unstoppable force would come sooner or later. There's an equal opposite to everything. It's just a matter of time before opposites are reconciled. One side will dominate the other. Rhythm compensates. Do you understand my words? What I'm saying here is very dangerous, but it's necessary. This is much bigger than what people believe it to be. It always has been. Let's move on to this next article here. Cointelegraph.com. This article is titled, XRP price could rally by 50% based off comments from a former SEC director. XRP investors are hopeful that a potential court victory against the SEC could send the altcoin price at least 50% higher. You see how they're all coming to the same conclusion. The time is at hand. The time is close. What will you do with your generational wealth if it indeed happens? Have you made your plans? Have you disciplined yourself? Or will you buy 50 Lambos? Discipline will be key here to making that wealth last and, applying your money, your value rather, to work for you, to retaining that value, to securing yourself. And you will need to secure yourself in all possible ways. I would even say keep very, very quiet about what you hold. Many people will be after what you hold. Things will change for you. Be prepared, not filled with fear. Be prepared. Stay healthy. Keep your wits about you. If you live in an area that's not so good, I don't even care if it's a suburb. Be careful. Be careful. Be prepared to move if you need to. I can't tell you what to do. It's not advice. But be aware of your surroundings. If you have spoken to anyone in the past about certain assets and then that asset explodes, just be careful. You have no idea what people will do, the capabilities of individuals when they know that wealth is on the line, riches are on the line. Be very, very careful, in my humble opinion. So, Hidden documents to save XRP bulls. On September 29th, the district court judge in the case, Judge Annalisa Torres, ordered the commission to release the documents penned by William Hinman, the former director. So we know this. We know that this was to be. Many times the judge has ordered this agency, this regulatory body, to do these certain things, but they have not. They are lawless. If they don't obey a judge, who will they obey? This is who you trust. This is who the people want regulating anything or in a position of power. People that don't even obey a judge. So you have to obey a judge, but they don't. And this is who claims they're going to protect the people. They want to protect the people, but they won't even respect the same laws that they expect the people to acquiesce to. So if they were to get a judge on you, you have to comply. But the judge orders the SEC to do a myriad of things. Each time they fight the judge on that and they don't comply. Let's go to this article here. This is on U.Today. Ripple. Crypto law founder says SEC seeks to control narrative with term crypto securities. Of course, this is how they brainwash everyone. They just keep repeating certain terms. We see this with a lot of keep using these buzzwords to condition the people, and the people accept it like zombies. They just accept it. Crypto security. They'll continue to repeat that, and then there's so much cannibalization within the crypto sphere. for whatever reasons, that people that are actually supposed to be pro-crypto will use these terms at some point, or they have the possibility of doing that. And so it will further brainwash people, because what they'll do is say, well, our crypto is not a crypto security. And then they will label everything else crypto securities using the words of their literal enemy. Funny how that works, isn't it? Using the wording of their literal enemy, and then others will agree with them, and thus the brainwashing has begun. So yes, this is how they control many things. This is how they control minds. This is a battle over minds and spirit, over heart, because some people don't have the toughness to fight. If they're in a long fight, everybody wants the fight to be quick. But when the fight goes long, then you start seeing the truth come out of people when the match gets long. Tough guys break. You get into the third period, deep in the rounds, they start to break down. We've all seen it who've been in athletics. Oh, they're big and strong. Suplex City, right? Until it gets deep and their muscles start to burn. They start to believe there's a possibility they might not win. They're not used to losing, and they quit. They get broken down. It's a mental war. Battles, warfare. It's mostly mental. Even the strategy, because some people will say, well, what about this? They use weapons in war, in actual war. Alphaning, that's physical. The strategy that employed the weaponry or the avoidance of that weaponry was mental. Everything is mental first. Victory is mental. Loss is mental. Strategy is mental. But a lot of people don't exercise this. Don't get me wrong. You want to lift weights and be strong. Sure. This is your greatest asset. Exercise your mind. Too many people are letting their minds rot. That's the way that it is. And so they don't have strength of mind when things get tough, when things get hard. You should be able to struggle, the good struggle, fight the good fight until you have victory. That's the way wars are won. That's the way the good wins, by fighting until the bitter end. The enemy is going to fight. I'm telling you right now. Those ones who want to crush people, keep them down, abuse the people, take advantage of them. They already have been doing that. That's how they've been winning. But everyone else is taking this weak stance. The ones who would be against that, the ones who could stand against that, have taken this weak stance. They become soft and weak. So then you have this. Things like this. These entities running recklessly around the world, doing whatever they want. Well, things may change in the future. We will see. We definitely will see. In recent tweets, John Deaton criticizes the agency for trying to control the narrative with the tag crypto securities rather than digital asset security used in the Ripple and LBRY cases. As reported by U.Today, SEC Chair Gary Gensler gave an update on celebrity Kim Kardashian, who was fined $1.29 million for touting Ethereum Max. They're even going after celebrities. This is all about money. Where's the clarity? They don't care about clarity. They're rogue. But these ones here like this, they have exposed themselves. They know their time is up. They know the collapse of their systems is due. They know they won't be able to get away with this for long, because with the new systems, everything is going to be tracked. Well, I don't want to go too deep with that, because I might say a little too much. But you get where I'm going with that? John Deaton thinks that the newly coined crypto securities term was all about controlling. It is all about controlling the narrative. It is. And the news media will go with that. They know the news media is going to use this because the news media bows down to whatever. So they're going to go with this. And so the masses of society will be using the term crypto securities, and they're going to be scared off by it. They know this. This is strategy, and it's a brilliant move. It is. Unfortunately, the people accept everything that they are given. There's nothing we can do about that. We have to continue to fight the fight, and the new 1% shall rise. In my humble opinion, the new 1% shall rise, and then we get an opportunity, like I said, one shot at making Xerxes bleed, one shot at freeing yourself from the matrix. It's just like that. That is a good way to explain everything. Some people stay in Zion, like in the Matrix. You get those people that's in Zion, right? And then you have the warriors that go out and fight and try to change the Matrix and free people, right? That's the way that this is. That's the way that this is. I don't have a better way to explain it than using that as an example, because so many people know of that. You understand? And you have to understand that movies like that, they stole so much from everything. So they're based on actual teachings, right? So like movies like The Matrix took a lot from Gnosticism. They took a lot from certain Mahayana versions of Buddhism and such like that. So many different very, very wise teachings they took and put into that movie. If you are an astute individual and you have done a lot of studying, you can see that. What is the architect, like for instance, I give you an example. What is the architect in the Matrix other than the demiurge of Gnosticism? It's the demiurge. And what are the agents in the Matrix other than the archons of Gnosticism? So even when some of us may choose to use these references, it should not be thought to be silly, because those very things were taken from actual texts that were meant to convey a great amount of wisdom based upon interpretation. And there are a multitude of ways you can interpret those documents. You get what I'm saying? We'll just leave that right there. I put stuff on the table for you. If you pick it up, you pick it up. If you don't, there's nothing I can do about that. What you do with it, it's up to you. Let's move on here to another document here. This is from another document. Another tweet here. This is from Brooks Inkswhistle. It says, that's a wrap on hashtag Asia Crypto Week. Best at F1 night race. Weak energy of any of my 12 years living in Singapore. The way that's written is so... Well, let's continue on here. Super lively at Token 2049 panel. Discussion moderated by at Joe and the Zus. I must be too old school. All these at names and these specialized names. It gets a bit much to read all of these things at times. So I sound so old school, don't I? Just give me something normal. Give me a normal, oh my goodness, a normal nomenclature, normal name. And the opportunity to host many of Ripple's customers and partners. That's the important part. Ripple's customers and partners over cocktails with an epic view. That's the important part I wanted to get to. They're landing. Listen, there's so many deals that are made, relationships business-wise, that are made when you're at gatherings and events. A lot of, let me tell you something. When I was younger, I was building certain things, okay? And I would go to certain gatherings, right? A lot of powerful people there. This is when I was in my younger years. I was on fire when I was in my younger years. Oh, believe me. A lot of powerful people there. I made so many relationships. Just talking to, you know how people say, chopping it up, kicking it with, spending time with these people, cracking some jokes. That's all it takes. Oh, you want to drink, Alpha Neem? Oh, you want this? No, I don't want to drink. When cracking jokes, clapping hands. That's it. And guess what? They will offer you things. Oh, you want to come to this? We're doing this project. I'm trying not to give too much away. We're doing this project. You want to come out to this project? Oh, we got this coming up in 2 months, 3 months. This is big stuff. All from just passing a moment. These types of things are huge. This is how deals are made. This is how future business is handled. Handled, but created. Business relationships. People, spending the time with people and getting them to like you goes a long way towards making good partnerships, solid partnerships. I'm telling you. Let me tell you something, and it's another thing. A lot of these heads of companies, a lot of these so-called big money people, and even some celebrities, let me tell you something right now. They like to hang out. They've done it all. So now they've driven in every car possible. They've eaten all the best foods and stuff like that. So now it seems to me from my experience, what matters to them the most is being around what they consider to be good people, fun people, things like that. They want to feel again. They become numb to a degree. And so they desire to feel again. And sometimes feeling is brought to you by another individual. I give you an example without saying too much, right? I like to share these things, you know. What's the point of having this knowledge if I'm not going to share it? There was an individual, I was doing a job, this was long ago, and this individual is in your movies right now. Big in huge movies, all right? I was having a conversation with this individual. It wasn't just myself, there was a group of us. We're having a conversation with this individual, and this individual shared a lot of knowledge, by the way. A lot of knowledge, a lot of experiences. And didn't have to either. Because what we were doing, it was over, it was done. This person could have taken off in their limo and left. They didn't. They stayed and they were just relaxing, chilling, sharing knowledge. But the one thing I took from that, this person was like, hey, listen, if you guys ever want to come out to such and such place, out to this other coast, this was on another coast, then you guys can come out there. You know, this person owned a club, right? Like, and they like to play instruments. I'm just going to say that. They like to play instruments, and they say, you guys can come out anytime. You don't have to pay for nothing. You can come there, and gave us all the information. They just wanted to hang out. They wanted to hang out with cool people. They thought we were cool. I might say myself, I think I'm pretty cool. And he just wanted to hang out and extended the offer to come to their personal club, told us where it was, to contact them anytime we're out there. These people, that's not the only example I could give, but the relationships, they desire that at those top levels. I know it's probably hard to believe. They desire those relationships, to be around people that treat them like they're normal and such like that. So this matters. This matters. If you treat them with respect, and that's another thing. Respect goes a long way to making deals and partnerships also. So a lot of these higher paid people, you would be surprised. They are so they're disrespected greatly because they have people that are above them. Millionaires have people that are above them. They're millionaires, and people on the come up that you think are celebrities have people above them. They're constantly told what to do. They have people, I'm trying to phrase this carefully. They have people that tell them what to do all day, and those people are not nice. And that becomes the norm. So when they encounter individuals who don't treat them like they're high and mighty on a pedestal or don't talk down to them, because those are the extremes they experience, they value those individuals. So then it makes it very easy to make partnerships with them, for them to just literally just throw them at you. What you do with it is up to you. You get what I'm saying? This is going to be good information for a lot of people out there who are either on the come up, or maybe you have a few millions, you want to do projects, maybe you haven't gotten them off the ground, you're not understanding why you can't build relationships. This is good information, because you can't approach these individuals like Brooks Entwistle is just, he's relaxing with these people. They're having a drink with them. He's having cocktails with them, and they're going to contact him later because they like him. That matters. This is why I'm sharing this. This is important. This is what Ripple does. They're smart. They're brilliant. They understand the industries. And this is what I'm also trying to convey to people out there. So you can't call these people up or have a meeting with them and you're praising them too much. They're not going to like that. They don't want to be treated differently. This is what I'm telling you. They want to be treated regular. I know it's weird, but that's the way that it is. They want to be treated regular. They want to also know that you're a person of respect and dignity. There's so much I could say, but maybe another time. Let's continue on here. This is very, very good in my humble opinion. This is a very different type of video, but I've been doing different types of, each video has been having such a different energy. What can you do? Every day is different. I keep it interesting though, at the least. You got to give me that. I hope it's interesting. I hope. I can't be the one that decides that. Let's continue on to this next article here. It says, this is on U.Today. Ripple CEO complains about scam accounts on social media. Yes. Brad, Mr. Garlinghouse, you know, I like a lot of what you do, Mr. Garlinghouse. I do. You remind me a lot of me. You really do, sir. And you're calling them out. This is not the first time you call them out. Thank you so much, because you know what? Are stealing from us on YouTube. They steal our pictures, they steal our names and such, and we're deleting them. And they come back. You delete one, 3 come back, sir. They flood our emails, sir. And we complain about this, and yet certain entities do nothing about it. Why? Why? So maybe if we have more perceived larger people like yourself saying something about it, maybe we can get something done about this. Because yes, they are trying to take the names and the pictures and things like that of known blockchain Bitcoin companies. And they're trying to do damage. I hope nobody is getting scammed by these people. I hope not. But let's read this little tidbit about what Mr. Garlinghouse has to say. Brad Garlinghouse, chief executive officer at blockchain company Ripple, recently complained about the influx of cryptocurrency scam bots in a recent Twitter thread. Yes, the cryptocurrency boss says that he cannot believe that he still has to report his impersonator. This is what I just was saying. I switched my picture. Like if some of you saw, I had that one picture was like this for the longest time. I just take screenshots and just use screenshots from videos as the pictures. Like even the one that I have now, just like this, like that, it's a screenshot. And I just changed the look of it. That's all. They took that one. I was trying to shake them. Right. So they had the other picture and then I put up the new picture thinking to myself, like, I'll just switch the picture like every week or something like that. I didn't wind up doing that because a lot of my people told me that they didn't even recognize the channel when they saw the picture. So I was like, OK, let me just leave that one there. The scam bots already took that one. Everyone out there, just know I'm a humble researcher. I'm not going to be asking you for crypto keys or to contact me on any Telegram I don't have. Or what's that other one? Was it Telegram? WhatsApp? I'm not going to be telling you to contact me on WhatsApp that I don't have. I have no interest in even dealing with those mediums. Don't fall for those things. You know how I speak also. You know how I write comments. Be careful. And so the same thing goes for if you see these scammers impersonating Ripple or Algorand or anything else. Be careful out there. Protect yourself at all times, okay? That's what's important here. Now, let's move on here to another article. U.S. regulators are coming for crypto. How will the future look? Well, let's read this little tidbit here. A recent slew of legislative and enforcement actions against the digital asset space and its stakeholders have provided valuable insight into how the U.S. crypto landscape could develop in the future. Several recently proposed bills and ongoing enforcement cases could define crypto industry's future in the U.S. If the SEC and CFTC win their ongoing crypto lawsuits, they could set a terrible precedent for decentralized finance in the broader industry. I don't think so. It doesn't affect the bank coins whatsoever. Well, you know, we have what's going on with the SEC, which we've been winning the entirety of that time. I think that's going to go well, and we're going to have regulatory clarity. At least we'll get through that. The bank coins will have regulatory clarity, in my humble opinion. We'll see how that goes. But so that doesn't affect us. And then the CFTC is on our side. They're not going after bank coins, right? We've been dealing with them hands on. They're at Meridian. Ripple just had a meeting with the CFTC head. So, I mean, we're looking good right now. That's just factual information. So it says they could set a terrible precedent for the rest of crypto. The rest of crypto was in trouble. They did not take the necessary steps to protect themselves, to come into compliance. They didn't care. They didn't, for whatever reason. I don't know why. They didn't care. What can you say about an individual who has been warned multiple times that a train is coming and yet they stay on the tracks? What can you do? They're going to get hit. Simple as that. All you can do is scream, hey, get off the tracks. They don't want to listen. Well, you get hit by the train. That's life. That's life. I tell you to prepare for the winter and you don't plant some seed, put seeds in the ground, grow some crops and collect your food for the winter before the winter comes in. Well, you're going to starve. I told you. We warned you. So there's nothing we can do about the rest of crypto, but the bank coins look good, are looking good as far as all of this is concerned. However, if the regulator and agencies lose, crypto could enjoy a renaissance. That's not true. In my humble opinion, There's so many scam coins and useless coins. They have to go away. They have to go away, or they will always rear their ugly head. There's always going to be a new meme token or a new rug pull. There's so many coins people created just to scam people, literally. Those coins served no purpose, none. They have to go away. Or they could, like I said, they could come back again. They can rear their ugly heads again. Or there's not a precedent set to ensure that maybe, because there's no guarantees, of course, but maybe scammers won't want to do that again. Maybe they might fear the consequences of a rug pull or something like that. So you have to take certain actions. I think that's just logical, in my humble opinion. So no, regulation is good, but proper, fair regulation. We have to clarify that. So let's continue on here. Now I'm starting to really feel it. I was off for 2 days. That's why I came in. I'm starting to feel a little bit looser as the video goes on. This is from cryptonomas.ch. Crypto artists, a call for young NFT creators with big prizes. Now, I just needed to read the headline of that. So I made some posts. Check out those last few posts in the members only section, okay? There's a reason I posted them. There's so many ways that people can make money in crypto. And I don't think a lot of people are utilizing that opportunity. NFTs. There's going to be another NFT boom. You can be out ahead of the competition. You can dominate the competition because, as I said before, in the future, all right, I'm just going to say this. I was trying not to say certain things. In the future, it's my belief that the fine art industry will dominate the art industry in NFTs. They have not arrived in full yet, but they will, and they're powerful. I know. I was in the fine art industry for a long time. Some of you know that. You heard me say that before. I was in the fine art industry for some time. They will dominate, and they operate like a fraternal order. They don't take, once they're in and they dominate, they don't take kindly to anybody else that doesn't have like a degree in art or have some awards. They're coming. But if you learn how to draw properly, and you learn how to paint, you have a high level of artistic ability, you will be able to get in on a lot of that NFT money early on. Because your art will be much better than what is out there now. But it takes time to practice and teach oneself those particular abilities. But there's lots of tutorials out there, so that you can build on the blockchain. A lot of people, they don't want to take the time to learn how to code or program or whatever you want to call that. But you can build on the blockchain. There's so many different ways that you can make a good amount of capital from blockchain. But I believe people, if you can do whatever you want, this is not advice. I'm not telling you to do these things, but people could utilize those opportunities now for when things are better in the future. Build now, and then you can ride that wave up once everything starts exploding again. It's so easy to make art NFTs. Not only that, then also, people could utilize the opportunity. They have so much stuff laying around their house. You have that I have never used it, but that way that you can NFT something that's physical. So when they buy the NFT, you just send it to them through the mail, right? You have that. That's another way you could possibly make some money from NFTs, or prepare for the NFT boom that is to come. And another one is coming. NFTs were making more money than crypto at that time. So people are going to be back and want more of that. And it's going to be better than before. More people know about NFTs than before. So that's why I wanted to bring this up, just to put that on people's radar so that you don't miss out. Hopefully, if you should choose, you won't miss out when the next NFT boom comes, and you could be making some extra capital on the side, and it would be very good, in my humble opinion. A lot of you are great artists out there. Even if you're not, you have great minds. I know on this channel, at least, you have great minds. So I know, in my humble opinion, what I believe is that anything that you want to do, you could do. You could do. I mean, even with 3D renders, right? So I'm gonna throw some out there, because I worked with a program a long time ago that was very, very good, in my humble opinion. And if it was good 8, 9 years ago, 7 years ago, whatever it was, I'm pretty sure it's even better now. Daz 3D. Daz 3D was a good program with 3D renders that you can use and such like that. And you can play around with it. It does have a little bit of a learning curve, or at least it used to. But trust me, you can learn how to manipulate those things and create beautiful works of art. And even some of those 3D models that you could build, you can sell. You can sell your 3D models. Now, it used to be a digital market that you could sell your 3D renders on, but you don't even have to do that anymore. You can sell your 3D renders now as NFTs. And because of the uniqueness of it, they can go for a good price. So there's that. So I'm just putting that on the table. You pick it up, that's up to you. All right, so now let's continue on forward here. I think the next one was, this was actually an article about the SEC finding Kim Kardashian, but we're going to skip this one because I didn't know that other article was going to speak on it already. But that's crazy. They're going after everybody. So let's move on to this article here on Finbold. R. Kiyosaki warns the dollar to crash within 4 months as investors ditch fiat. So let's continue on here. Let's read this little tidbit. In the wake of the Federal Reserve raising interest rates to historical levels, the dollar has reacted positively, gaining at the expense of other global fiat currencies. Notably, the British pound is among the currencies performing poorly against the dollar. Despite the dollar's strong performance, the author of the personal finance book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, believes the U.S. currency strength will be short-lived. I believe the same thing, but for a variety of reasons, right? Different than Mr. Kiyosaki's. In a tweet on October 1st, Kiyosaki noted that the dollar will potentially crash early 2023, but suggested that silver might be an alternative asset to cushion against a possible dollar crash. I haven't kept up with the silver charts as of late. I know a lot of you probably have. I also haven't kept up with gold either, but I would see, you have to know when both of those are at a high or at a low, just like everything else. That's when you want to get in. But yes, I do believe that silver or gold could be used as a cushion against a dollar crash. If the dollar goes down, then they will go up in value. You see what I'm going here? And people trust them. So it's more of a surety that they will go up as opposed to other assets that may be a little bit more volatile, and you don't know if they're going to go up, right? So I would agree with that more. Silver and gold, put gold in there, silver and gold, as opposed to Bitcoin, in my humble opinion. That's how I feel. In a previous tweet, Kiyosaki also suggested that the United States and England share a historical bond that might spill over the financial markets. Well, that's already been happening. So they share that as well. Right, that the United States seems to be this leader mentally of most of the West, and they just follow. So yes, I do believe that. I believe that many of the systems in the United States have been poorly maintained, and it has been very detrimental to their future, and that a lot of them will collapse partially. But it will be enough to be felt, and action will need to be taken. If they want to make it, they can take action. That's what the new financial system is about. And I believe they're going to let it collapse, they're going to let everything collapse. The banking system obviously is in jeopardy. You've seen what's been happening with the banking system has been absolutely terrible, as I have stated many, many times. And they're going to have to bring in the new financial system. They're gleeful about it at this point. There is no denying it. Hedera MTech is working on is assisting with the digital dollar. Ripple is assisting with the digital dollar. You have Quant over there with the digital euro. A digital euro association, I believe they will be heavy-handed with the new financial system, especially when it comes to the digital euro, because they have the only bridgeless system that is going to tie together the legacy system and the new financial system. So I think that's inevitable. You have Algorand and XLM in a variety of different ways and use cases. I mean, so the new financial system will be brought in. They're cheering it on at this point. The rogue agents have become a much smaller voice, although their power is still being felt. But I believe with time, they will be conquered and they will have to acquiesce. They're simply playing their part. The whole world is a stage and they're playing their part. But what is to come at this particular time is undeniable, in my humble opinion. So let's move on to this tweet here. Third and final estimate. This is from the St. Louis Fed. The third and final estimate, GDP decreased at an annual rate of 0.6% in 2022 Q2, the same as the second estimate. GDP decreased again. Oh, we're doing so great. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. I had an article somewhere where they were admitting to a recession. Did we cover that last video? They were finally admitting to a recession after all this time, when we're going into deceleration, which once again, as a matter of fact, that brings us into the next article here. Wiser X removes 40% of the workforce due to bear market impact. More layoffs. Bear market, it's not just because of the bear market. The bear market is a symptom of pretty much every. You hear that? Can you hear that? There's birds fighting outside of my window. Can you hear that? Okay. I have red-breasted robins, a whole group of them. And not only that, so I have red-breasted robins living in this bush outside of my studio here, right? They're fighting. Like, what are they doing? I'm going to have to bang on the wall. What? Did you hear that? One of those birds just knocked against the window. Just their body hit the window. I have red-breasted robins outside here in this bush here, and I have red cardinals. Now, here's the thing I didn't know about cardinals. Well, at least the ones that live outside here. They are extremely aggressive. These cardinals are aggressive. They don't allow any other bird to come into that territory. So even the robins have to sort of walk on eggshells around these cardinals. They will chase these robins all over the place. Fight them and I have some sparrows also. Sparrows are another one that's interesting. These sparrows are aggressive with each other, not with me, of course. But the sparrows fight too, and you can't break them up either. Once they're in a fight, that's it. And it's so weird. Their lives end very easily because I watch them fight sometimes, and there's no breaking it up either. You can shout, you can run up to them. It doesn't matter. They're going to continue to roll and injure each other, and then one is just laid out. Like, it doesn't look like they took a lot of damage. They're laid out and it's over for them. They went to the nether realm. So that's just a interesting observance because I hear them. They were fighting out there. I guess whatever happened is over. Somebody went to the nether realm. What were we reading here? Oh, Wiser X. Yes, layoffs. Indian crypto exchange Wiser X has laid off nearly 40% of its 150 strong workforce. The company cited bear market impacts as the reason for reducing the workforce. Oh, yeah. So anyway, the bear market is a symptom of the downed economies of the world. Save for one region. There's one region doing well. They didn't expect that. But the rest of the world has been feeling the negatives of everything just imploding on itself. So that's why this is happening. They're descending and decelerating into what will become, or what can become, a global depression. There has been mass layoffs everywhere. This is just more of them. I'm sure there's many that we didn't even see, we don't even know that are occurring right now. That's what this is all about. So now let's go here. Oh, so this was the article here about the recession. Good days ahead for crypto? ? United Nations warns Fed over recession. Let's read this little tidbit here. So the United Nations have come to their senses. Amid fears of an incoming financial recession, a section of analysts predict a key turnaround in the crypto market. Currently, the cryptocurrency market is largely correlated with the stock market. Are you sure about that? Have you seen certain things happening? Not all of crypto has been tethered. No pun intended. You haven't seen Quant? XRP's movement? I mean, it hasn't, you could say it's not major, but if you look at it, it's sort of major as they break away from the pull, so to speak, of the stock market. In this context, the United Nations agency had on Monday warned several central banks, including the Fed, over recession risks. That's too late for that. They have to crush the economies in order to bring down inflation that they caused, by the way. They have to crush them. They have to. They're going to continue to raise interest rates. They have to, and they must become more aggressive at some point. And that means there's going to be more layoffs. And you and I both know what that means. That doesn't mean recession. There's going to be more layoffs. There's already been mass layoffs. You and I both know that means a depression. But they won't say it. They won't say it. They didn't want to say and still don't want to say recession. I saw we covered an article recently where they called it a technical recession. They're delusional. Well, such as the fool goes over the edge of the cliff. Yeah. And the piper takes all of his followers with him over the edge of the cliff. Meanwhile, the cryptocurrency prices have in the last few weeks remained largely stagnant around existing price ranges. That's not a bad thing. Advantage crypto if recession worsens. Central banks are risking chances of recession followed by prolonged stagnation if they keep raising interest rates, said the agency. According to a Wall Street Journal report, the agency said the Fed risks causing significant harm to developing countries. They don't care about that. They don't care about that. I don't think you care about that, United Nations. I think what you do care about is that this is a slap in the face, and it could wake those countries up a little bit more who already want to rebel against the United Nations and the International Monetary Fund. And then they'll say, why should we work with you or acquiesce to your demands anyway if you're not going to help us? If you're only going to injure us. So it's going to bring resentment. That's what you don't want. But the Fed doesn't care. They've gotten too big. They're too powerful to listen to you. It's like you're shouting at a giant. You're that little dude on the shoulder of the giant in One Punch Man. That's what you are. Shouting in the giant's ear. He doesn't have to listen to you. That's what you fear. It's going to spark more rebellion against you and your central bank brethren. But this is my humble opinion. Said that a percentage point rise in the Fed's interest rate significantly lowers economic output in other rich countries. Okay. UNCTAD Secretary General Rebecca Greenspan said there is still room for avoiding recession. What? I can't. Did you think about what you just said before you said it? Now, see, here's the thing. So many people out there, they don't even know this individual, but they will swear that this individual, because they have this position, they have to be smart. They have to be intelligent. They have to be wise. This is a person of prestige because of a position. They will not question this person's intelligence when clearly to all of us, we know that there is no avoiding a recession when you're already in one. These are the controllers of the world? Does no one else see something wrong with this? Unbelievable. This is unbelievable at this point. And I hear people still saying that. They reiterate the words that they have been programmed with. And they say, no, there's no recession. See that these people here said there's no recession. You're feeling the recession. Your people around you are the ones getting laid off. You don't notice them being home a little bit more. But they don't have the media. They don't have a voice in the media. So the media is not covering those layoffs at all. Those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, they will fare well. They will do well. They will survive. They will thrive. They will be the new 1%. What would a recession mean for crypto market? We're already in a recession. But you're talking about going deeper into a recession, I suppose, which you can't get much deeper than now. Inflation is going to go higher, by the way. There's a lot of catalysts involved. But can they avoid it? When I say can they avoid it, I'm talking about the entire collapse, an entire collapse of the system. Yes, that's what the new financial system is there to prevent. But there will be a partial collapse of the system. Inflation, based on certain activities that have occurred, there's a myriad of catalysts. Inflation stands to go higher. They will have to raise interest rates even more aggressively when and if that does happen. That means that they will crush the economies even more, which means there will be more layoffs. This is a logical line of events. American investor Stan Druckenmiller, who is confident of a recession in 2023, feels it would favor crypto market. He says that cryptocurrencies could benefit if distrust in central banks swells. I agree with you in that. I do. I agree with you on that. And it will. But yes, distrust is very great against the system at this particular time. But the people also have a great fear of leaving the system. That's the problem. The people don't want to leave the system. They have taken comfort in that system. They have accepted the abuse at the hands of that system. That's the problem, is the people being able to pull away from it and having the energy and mental capacity and the gumption, so to speak, to find an alternative to the banking system and actually trust in themselves, in the custody of their own capital, or value rather, themselves. Just like the people used to do a long time ago. They used to have all of their money in boxes and bottles and things like that. Now we have a different way. There's a myriad of different ways, in fact. But yes, I do agree with that. And distrust in the central banks, private banks, commercial banks is swelling, and it should. They have mistreated the people greatly. But we will see what happens. What happens inevitably is in the hands of the people. So, now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.